Why plant churches? Jesus promised that he would build his church, and he gave us the commission to make disciples of all nations. So our job is to make disciples. Jesus will build his community of faith, his body, his church around the world. Now, any gathering of believers in the Bible is called church. The Bible doesn't use any other term. And I really believe that Jesus makes us the church. He's the one building the church. He's the one who knits his body together. So the question is not, are we church? The question is, are we healthy church? And are we following through on what Jesus commands and what Jesus desires a church to be? Does Jesus think we are church? Why or why not? That's the question we ask when helping people plant churches. So I believe the church is central to everything that God does in his body, in his mission, and that in order to be healthy church, we need to commit together as church and understand and follow and obey what the Bible says churches should be, so that we can love one another and be healthy community. So that's a theological reason why we should plant churches. But there are also practical reasons for why I believe planting churches is one of the best ways to spread God's message and God's image and glory throughout the world. Steve Parlato said, the world needs more churches. He made a simple argument. He said, look, the number of reached people you have in the world today is the result of the number of churches that we have in the world today. If we want to reach more people, we need more churches. We need more flavors of church. We need more leaders. We need more laborers. We need more local bodies of believers who are reaching out to their communities, to their neighborhoods, and beyond. Another practical reason to plant churches is that groups usually have an expiration date. What I mean by that is a group doesn't have a strong identity, doesn't have a strong commitment, and doesn't necessarily have a strong vision of where they're to go as a community. But as soon as you use the word church, or whatever term your translation of the Bible uses, especially if you're working in another culture, that term comes with it all the biblical teaching about loving one another, living in community, elders, communion, baptism. All of those things are a part of church. And church, with the word church, comes commitment and comes vision and identity for a healthy body of believers. We found that when people commit to church and name their church church, they are much more likely to last and to build a healthy community of faith that demonstrates God's will and God's glory and image throughout the world.